All right, so right now I'm about to swap out our wire over to the flux core. Now you want to make sure that your machine is set off, because what can actually happen is sometimes the wire actually gets grounded out, and if you go to touch that wire, it's not gonna be good for you. It's gonna hurt a lot. All right, so we're gonna lift up our lid here, and then we're about to change out our wire. Let me take off my gloves. That way you got some dexterity. So all I'm doing is I'm clipping the wire here, that way I can roll it back and get it all nice and rolled up. What you don't want to do is accidentally let go of the wire, because then what will happen, it backlashes and it's just a whole mess. You won't be having a good day. So we're going to take that off here. Set that down there nice and gently out of the way. That way it doesn't hurt nobody. We're actually going to pull our wire out. Now what you actually can do is actually roll the wire back. That way you don't waste material. But I had a goof moment and totally forgot to do that. So. Gonna roll up our wire here. Get it all nice and wound up, that way it doesn't pop open and become a hazard for anybody. All right, I need flux core. All right, guys, so now that we've done our MIG root, we're gonna also change out our tip, so that way whenever we go to weld with the flux core, we have no problems, because that 045 wire cannot go through that small 035 tip. So it's important to remember to change out your contact tip. All right, I'm gonna set it in here like so. Give it a little wiggle so it falls down in there. All right, now we're good to go. Also, another important thing to remember is you want to change out your rollers as well. That way, whenever the wire is coming through the wire feeder here, it doesn't actually smush the flux core wire closed. So we're going to change out our roller here. And you also want to make sure that the 045 side is facing you. All right, that way you know it's on 045. Gonna lock that one back in. Now we're gonna change out our bottom one here. All right, 045. All right, and we are good to go. All right, so now that we got our flux core roll, you're gonna cut it here. You also wanna make sure as you're cutting it, you got a good hold on the wire. That way that spool doesn't backlash on you. So we're gonna feed it through like so. And you're just gonna wanna feed it through just a little bit. That way it doesn't come out on you. And then we're gonna lock it in place. Make sure our spool lock is on wherever that went. So you wanna make sure that your wire stays in this little track here. We're gonna put it through the end of our MIG whip right here, through that little hole. Have your finger resting right there. Give it a little push, and it should go right on through. All right, gonna lock that in place. Put that down in there. All right, we're good to go. Make sure that our spool lock is in place. That way that wire doesn't fall off. You wanna make sure that it's actually on the little peg, wherever it is, if I can find it. Come on, man. Trying to find it, sorry guys. Should be right there. There we go. All right, you wanna make sure that the peg in the back is lined up with one of these holes here. That way you have enough room for your spool lock to go on. That way that wire doesn't fall off and accidentally crush your toe or hit the back of your ankle, because that would really hurt. All right. All that over here. So now we're gonna turn our machine back on. And now we're gonna adjust our settings to where they need to be once the machine fires up. So you wanna make sure it's on CV inner shield, all right? You always wanna weld flux core with CV inner shield, because as the name implies, inner shield, flux core. The flux is on the inside of the wire. And this is actually dual core or dual shield wire because it's got flux on the inside, and we also have our shielding gas as well. That way we have no porosity whatsoever. So we're going to turn our volts up to 22.5. We're also going to adjust our wire feed speed to 225 as well, 225 wire speed. So now you also want to be very wary of flux core. It produces a lot of UV radiation, so you always want to make sure you have the proper PPE on, and it's very hot, so you also want to watch your hand placement as well. And just feed it through real quick. Oh. What we're doing is we're hitting the wire feed button. That way we don't waste any gas, because gas is a highly costly consumable. And so we're just saving gas and electricity just by using the wire feed by itself. So now we're waiting on the wire to come out. That little wiggle, and there we have it. We got our wire.
Thank you for watching our video today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something today. If you would like to get some more tips and tricks and become a better welder, then subscribe to our channel. And if you would like to learn even more right now, then click on our link. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.